What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. It's Saturday morning, and Jude is the quick luber here. Rachel is turning us into the Meineke quick lube. Yeah, I almost fired her over taking 3 oil changes today. Anyway, my catalytic converter recycler guy had a customer yesterday that was here with that GMC Jimmy that was tits.
That was his?
So no, that was a friend of theirs. LS swap, beautiful vehicle. So they live in Philadelphia, and they drove, I think, 40 minutes just to come here. And the story is, right, that he's a diesel mechanic, which is great. They did a superb job on the LS swap. And then they made the exhaust system after the headers out of spare parts, which came out really, really nice.
Wait, they made the headers for spare parts?
No. From the headers back, they made out of spare parts. Kind of similar to what you did with your Corvette. They had a bunch of mandrel bends, they had some stuff, and they just, you know, they're not exhaust guys. They didn't have a bender either, so they made it work. It actually wasn't too bad, but it had a rattle on another spot, some leaky welds. The tailpipes were not routed over the rear axle where the bends were. It worked, but it just wasn't what the guy wanted. So they called a bunch of shops over there in Philadelphia, and everybody refused to work on it because there was no catalytic converters on the car. The vehicle's VIN number brings it back to a diesel. So it's registered diesel engine, right? So I don't know what laws, state laws in Philadelphia are. And basically in New Jersey, it's a free-for-all. You can go steal as much as you want. You can drive around in death trap vehicles without anyone saying anything. So what's the big deal if you want to get your car worked on with no catalytic converters? If you're not removing the catalytic converters and putting a straight pipe on, that doesn't leave you responsible for it. Ultimately, the customer is responsible for the vehicle, not you. So after calling multiple shops saying they have this swapped vehicle, blah, 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 blah. All the shops over in Philadelphia said no. I'm not sure if they called over here in New Jersey. They never called me. I do know for a fact that my major competitor, Penn Muffler down the street, will not work on your exhaust system if the catalytic converters are missing. Will not. There is no state law that says you cannot repair a customer's exhaust systems if there's a catalytic converter missing. It says that you cannot remove the catalytic converter, correct? You can't tamper with the emissions package. Cannot tamper. Cannot tamper.
I definitely not.
So what I said to them when they reached out to me is, hey, I have no problem fixing your tailpipes. I'm not working on the front of the exhaust system, nor did I remove the catalytic converters or any of that stuff. So for me, if I work on your bumper and there's a problem with your front bumper, what the fuck does that have to do with me? Nothing. And ultimately, the customer is responsible for their own vehicle, right? Regardless of what happens.
The only thing I would have done is typed up that they need catalytic converters.
So you could recommend and say, hey, this car is a diesel, registered VIN number diesel, doesn't need a catalytic converter in 1988.
Well, it's past 25 years anyway.
Well, you still have to have your original emissions components regardless.
Okay.
You have to have your original emissions components intact. This is where people don't understand. Regardless if you have no emissions standards and testing in your area, you have to have your original emissions components intact.
Oops.
So at Short, another shop told them, well, you could just tack weld catalytic converters to your exhaust system and then bring the car in, which was fucking stupid, right? That was the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, so then when they're dealing with it, the tack welds break.
So then another shop said that, well, if you want to buy catalytic converters and then we'll work on your car. They were giving the people a bunch of lip service, trying to just make people buy catalytic converters. Either you say you're going to fix the car or you're not. Don't give lip service. Hey, no, we don't work on cars missing cats. That's an in-house policy. Now, just like abortion laws, like Trump was talking about abortion, and he said, we leave it up to the states for the abortion laws. It's really not a federal thing for this. Where do you stand on abortions? Well, here's how I stand. Everyone voted to leave it up to the states to do that. State and local laws, not federal. I could be wrong, but this is the way I perceived it, is that The federal government has nothing to do about abortion. They have their opinion, but they voted to have the state and local the states that have these abortion things to write their own laws.
Yeah.
And then Biden said that he was okay with having an abortion at the third trimester. And I don't know much about that, but anyway, it's the lip service. They gave the customer lip service, and I hear it more in New Jersey too. So I know for a fact Penn Muffler won't do it. And I say, well, if the customer took his catalytic converters off, and he's not here for emissions repairs, he's here for muffler repair or tailpipe repair, because that's the language. The other shops use that as leverage to try and get the customer to spend money. You get stopped at a roadside, that's never going to happen in New Jersey with missing catalytic converters. Now, if you're a commercial vehicle, they'll grind you up for it.
Yeah.
But if you're everyday schmo, driving around with no cats, a misfire, no brakes, no tires.
Like, for instance,
half a car.
This is a hypothetical
Okay.
for the Corvette. If we deleted emission systems, as long as I'm not, getting the car impounded and driving.
But there
in states
is stipulations for off-road use only.
where
That means you would have to have your car towed in. So this is where New Jersey had this. You could have your car towed in, no registration, no insurance on the vehicle. It's for off-road use only. So that's the language they use for
aftermarket,
race parts too. Off-road use only, not
track use only.
not 50 state legal. So you have to be careful because they will get in trouble for selling you parts in a state that requires states, not federal, right? Federal emissions means you have to have this vehicle in compliance with its emissions package.
That's for the vet. They made you select that it was for off-road use.
Correct.
Before you could buy it.
So you could have your vehicle towed in with the exhaust system missing or the cat's missing, and then it be towed out is the standards that we went by in the muffler business years and years and years ago. So if you wanted a cat delete system made, tow it in, no registration, no insurance, document the vehicles for off-road use only, you got nothing to worry about. Because technically, if it's just for off-road use only, you're not on the road enough, or you're not running the vehicle enough to pollute the environment. There was another YouTuber that said, this is getting a little off subject, that we have to be certified in heating and air conditioning, 134Y R12, all is certified to handle refrigerant, and the average customer can go in and buy whatever he wants and pollute the environment. You know how many millions of people, I would bet you there's millions of people buying refrigerant at the parts stores, gassing up a system that's leaking out the next day, the same day as they're doing it, and they just keep pumping cans in it because they don't know any better. I assure you that goes on more than you know. So they should eliminate customers.
Order this shit on Amazon.
My point to you is the average consumer can go buy it, but if you're a shop and you want to buy a 30-pounder, you have to have a license and give them your license number. But the average customer can go and buy as much refrigerant as they want and pump in as many cars as they want without having to have licenses and refrigerant equipment. But anyway, back to the exhausting. It's just lip service in some states. In my opinion, I don't know all the state and local laws. I know federal emissions packages are you have to have all your emissions components intact and you are not allowed to remove them. Now, different countries, they don't have emission standards. So some of these cars come through with no DPFEs, no DGRs, blah, 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 blah. But here in the United States, California, which is one of the strictest emission standards in the world, you cannot have any aftermarket parts on your vehicle. How many people do you think are rolling through the ghetto with aftermarket parts on their Cali vehicles? So,
I mean, most of the.
but if you're not the guy tampering with the emissions package, it's the customer's responsibility. And the shops are just giving you lip service, trying to get that $2,000 sale or whatever they're trying to do. Here, we don't make it an everyday practice to deal with stuff like this. It's less and less and less, but I've been hearing more about it in the last 2 years, and I'm not sure what the paranoia is going on with people working on mufflers and tailpipes and flex pipes with missing catalytic converters. As long as you're not the guy making the converter missing, you
There
shouldn't have
must
any
have been
problems.
something that
Thanks
went
for watching.
down that